Welcome to Stoic Arrow. Have you ever walked into a room, smiled, greeted everyone warmly, but felt something was off? Maybe it was a glance that didn't linger, a smile that looked polite but felt forced, or someone said all the right words yet somehow their tone didn't match the message. These moments might seem small, so small you almost brush them off, but deep down, they tug at something inside you. They create a quiet discomfort, a question that lingers. Did I do something wrong, or is it them? Here's the truth. Sometimes people dislike us, and they hide it, and they hide it well. It's not in what they say, it's in how they say it. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's in the silence. And if we're not paying attention, we miss it, or worse, we internalize it. But this isn't about becoming paranoid. It's not about overthinking every look or tone. This is about awareness, the kind of awareness that sets you free from confusion and brings you back to peace. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone despises me, that's their problem. My concern is whether I act justly." Think about that. He didn't deny the fact that people may dislike him. He just chose not to let it shake his center. What if you could look at these subtle signs not as attacks, but as data? What if you could navigate them without taking it personally? That's what we're diving into today. We're not here to fight back or people please. We're here to learn how to recognize hidden dislike and respond to it with calm strength, the Stoic way. Because when you can spot the quiet tension behind a smile, you stop being confused and you start being free. Let's talk about something most of us have felt, but rarely know how to handle. Have you ever noticed someone avoiding eye contact with you? Not just once, but repeatedly? Maybe they look away the moment your eyes meet, or they keep glancing past you as if you're not even in the room. Now sure, sometimes people are shy or distracted, but other times it's something deeper. Eye contact is one of the most basic forms of connection. When someone constantly avoids it, they might be hiding emotions like anger, discomfort, or even guilt. So how should we respond? Here's what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus would say: observe, don't judge. That means don't jump to conclusions. Don't label them as rude or hostile right away. Just take note. Stay aware. Because awareness is power. It lets you navigate relationships with clarity, not confusion. Another subtle sign? The so-called joke that doesn't feel like a joke. You know the ones, sarcastic comments dressed up as humor. They smile, they laugh, but something in their words stings. That's passive-aggressive behavior. And while it feels personal, Stoicism reminds us, it's often not about us. It's about them, their inner conflict, their struggle. You just happen to be the nearest target. So instead of reacting with anger or retreating into doubt, a Stoic response would be calm, composed, and curious. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, it's not. When you master that mindset of observing without reacting, you step into a whole new level of emotional freedom. Because people will always have opinions, but you get to choose how much power you give them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found out about a group decision after it was already made? Maybe your team planned something at work. Maybe your friends organized a trip, and somehow your name just never came up. At first, you might brush it off. Maybe they forgot. It wasn't a big deal. But deep down, it feels like something. And often it is. See, being left out isn't always an accident. Sometimes it reflects how much, or how little, someone values your presence or input. That can sting, but here's where Stoic wisdom becomes powerful. A Stoic doesn't waste energy on what they can't control. If someone chooses to exclude you, that's their decision. What you control is how you respond. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, pause. Ask, what does this really say about me? And what does it say about them? Maybe it's not personal. Maybe it is. Either way, it's data, not a defeat. Now here's another subtle signal. When you share good news, maybe a new job, a big win, and their reaction is flat. No genuine excitement, just a polite, almost forced, "Oh, congrats." Why does that hurt so much? Because support should feel real. When it doesn't, it often reveals hidden resentment or jealousy. But again, don't let that dim your light. As Stoics remind us, their reaction is theirs to carry. Your success still matters. Let your own joy be enough. Because those who are truly in your corner, they'll cheer like it's their own victory. So when you're left out or met with silence instead of celebration, breathe deep, stand tall, and remember, your worth was never up for a vote. Let's talk about a strange but all too common experience. Sharing good news and being met with silence. You finally get that promotion, you launch a business, or maybe you simply overcome a personal challenge. You tell someone you thought would be happy for you, and their response? A half smile, a bland, "Oh, that's nice." No sparkle in the eyes, no real excitement, just politeness. And you start wondering, did I do something wrong? Am I overthinking this? But deep down, you can feel it. That lack of joy, that cold congratulation, it often stems from something within them, jealousy, resentment, or their own sense of falling behind. Now flip the script. Have you ever made a mistake, even a small one, and suddenly it's all they want to talk about? They point it out in public, they frame it like just giving feedback, but their tone cuts deep, and it's not once, it's a pattern. This isn't honest correction, this is criticism disguised as concern. It's not about helping you grow, it's about making them feel superior. The Stoics taught us to recognize the difference. As Epictetus put it, focus on your character, not their opinion. Not every voice deserves your energy. So when someone can't celebrate your wins or won't let you forget your flaws, take a step back, ask, is this helping me become better or just feel smaller? Real friends celebrate your highs and support you through your lows. Everyone else? Let them talk. You, keep building. Have you ever texted someone and gotten a one-word reply? You reach out with genuine energy, maybe just trying to connect, and what you get back is, okay, sure, K. No emotion, no warmth, just cold. That's not just awkward, it's a signal. A subtle one, but powerful. When someone limits communication, keeps it dry, avoids conversation, gives you nothing to work with, it's worth noticing. Now, I'm not saying jump to conclusions. People have bad days. Some are just not talkers. But if it's a pattern, especially when it's only with you, it can mean you're being emotionally sidelined. Here's what the Stoics teach us. Don't react. Observe. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Watch the pattern, not just the moment. Now let's go deeper. What if someone switches back and forth? Friendly one day, cold the next? One moment they're sharing secrets, the next, you're practically invisible. Sound familiar? This inconsistency messes with your head. You start asking, what did I do wrong? But the truth is, this kind of hot and cold behavior usually says more about them than you. It's often a reflection of their inner conflict, maybe insecurity, confusion, or something unresolved in their world. And it's not your job to decode it, fix it, or internalize it. Your job? Stay grounded, stay centered. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them knows anything about the subject. And when you're the subject, remember, you know your worth. So if someone's communication feels limited or their energy feels like a roller coaster, pause. Don't chase, don't blame. Just observe and protect your peace. Let's be honest, when someone treats you with coldness, sarcasm, or distance, it stings. Your first reaction might be confusion, frustration, or even guilt. You start thinking, did I do something wrong? But here's what the Stoics teach us, and it's powerful. You don't have to react emotionally to someone else's behavior. Their actions belong to them. Your reaction, that's yours, and it's the only part you truly control. Marcus Aurelius said, "You always have the power to have no opinion." That doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop giving away our peace over things we can't change. So what do you do when you feel like someone is pushing you away? First, ask yourself, is this person important to me? Is this relationship worth the effort? If the answer is yes, maybe it's a friend, a partner, a colleague, then try something courageous. Open a direct, kind conversation. You could say something like, "Hey, I've been sensing some distance between us lately. Did something happen? Simple, gentle, and honest. But what if the relationship doesn't really add much to your life? What if it's someone who doesn't bring peace, joy, or growth? Then let it go. Let them be cold. Let them misunderstand you. You don't need to chase clarity from people who aren't offering connection. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Stoicism isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being anchored. It's about having the courage to stay calm in chaos and the strength to choose peace over drama. So the next time you sense tension, remember, you don't need to guess what they're thinking. You don't need to fix what isn't yours to fix. You just need to choose how you show up. And that, right there, is your power. Let's face it, navigating people, emotions, and misunderstandings isn't always easy. But you don't have to be at the mercy of what others say or do. That's where the Stoics give us something incredibly useful, not just a philosophy, but a daily practice to stay centered, no matter what life throws at us. So if you've ever felt weighed down by awkward interactions, passive-aggressive comments, or just lingering tension from the day, this is for you. Tool number 1, daily journaling. At the end of your day, grab a notebook or even your notes app and reflect. Write down 1 or 2 moments that felt difficult. Then ask yourself, what part of this was in my control and what wasn't? That small question separates reality from emotional noise. It trains your mind to stop overthinking things you can't change. Tool number 2, evening self-audit. Before bed, ask, did I act with integrity today? Was I calm, or did I let someone else's behavior throw me off? It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. Even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, used to reflect each night on where he could be better tomorrow. If he had time, so do we. Tool number 3, reframing. When something stings, like someone ignoring your success or blowing up your small mistake, don't spiral into, why do they hate me? Instead, ask, what can I learn from this? That tiny shift puts you back in control. It turns pain into purpose. The goal of these tools isn't to suppress your feelings, it's to understand them and rise above the chaos without losing your peace. So tonight, when the world goes quiet, take 5 minutes, just 5. Write, reflect, reframe. That's how we grow, not by controlling the world, but by mastering the one thing we always own, ourselves. Here's something we all need to hear from time to time. Most of the hate we feel coming from— I know that's hard to believe when someone gives you a cold shoulder, makes a passive-aggressive comment, or seems to celebrate your failure. But here's the truth. Hatred, more often than not, is a reflection of their own inner struggles, not your worth. People lash out from fear, from insecurity, from the deep discomfort of seeing in you something they feel they lack. Maybe it's your calm, maybe your confidence, maybe your ability to grow when they feel stuck. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. So if someone hates you, that's an outside event. Your job, master your reaction, not their behavior. Now that brings us to a powerful Stoic idea from Epictetus, indifference. But let's be clear, this isn't cold-heartedness. It's not pretending you don't care when deep down you do. It's about choosing where to place your energy. If someone refuses to see your value, ask yourself, is chasing their approval really worth my peace? You can still be kind without overextending, still be strong without engaging every critic, still be open but protect your space. Healthy indifference means letting go of what you can't control without letting it control you, and that is freedom. So next time someone's behavior stings, pause and ask, is this really about me? Often the answer is no. And that simple awareness, it's where your peace begins. So let's bring this all together. We've looked at 7 subtle signs that someone might secretly dislike you. They avoid eye contact. They hide criticism inside sarcasm. They leave you out of decisions. They barely acknowledge your success. They obsess over your mistakes. Their communication feels cold and clipped. And sometimes their behavior swings wildly. Warm one moment, distant the next. Now, here's the big takeaway. You can't control how others feel about you, but you can control how you respond. The ancient Stoics had a word for this kind of wisdom: observation without reaction. Instead of jumping to conclusions, they trained themselves to pause, to notice, and to act only when it truly mattered. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How much of our stress comes not from what's actually happening, but from the stories we create around it? Someone's cold behavior? It doesn't mean you're unworthy. A passive-aggressive comment? Not a reflection of your truth. Being excluded? It might say more about them than about you. The Stoic path is not about becoming numb. It's about staying anchored in who you are, even when the waves of other people's emotions try to pull you off course. So next time you feel that sting of rejection or sense a hidden dislike, really don't rush to react. Breathe, remember your values, and ask yourself, what would a wise person do right now? Because that's who you're becoming.